Thank you so much for joining us. We are really happy to have you here tonight. If we have not already met, my name is Jackie, and I'm joined by my colleague Ashley and Gina, who we'll introduce in a bit. Together, we are the team behind Sunbury, and we do specialize in weddings and group travel and helping couples plan celebrations that are not only beautiful, but also organized, seamless, and very enjoyable for both you and your guests throughout the process. So, we first want to congratulate you if you are here tonight. There is a pretty good chance that you've been recently engaged, and that's a really fun time to be in for you. So, before we dive in, we would like to get a quick sense of maybe where you're at in your planning journey. So if you don't mind participating, we're going to put in the chat a couple of options. Are you just starting getting out and doing some research in your weddings? Are you comparing resorts and narrowing down options? Have you already leaned towards a specific destination, but you're still deciding on the resort that's right for you? Or are you ready to book, but you just want to absolutely make sure that you're choosing the right place? We'd love to know. You can just put a one, two, three, or four in there. We'd love to see where everyone's at and kind of what the trends are. And then while we're doing that, we'll give you a moment. One of the things that we do hear from couples from time to time is that when they start researching is when you look at destination weddings online, it's very overwhelming very quickly. There's hundreds of resorts, more keep getting built, thousands of venue photos, lots of conflicting information about packages and guest logistics and really what the planning process looks like. So that is exactly why we host these webinars. At Sunbury, our role is really to guide the couples through the destination wedding planning process from the very beginning. That includes helping you narrow down the right destination and the resort, organizing travel for your guests, and really working alongside the resort team and wedding teams to make sure everything comes together smoothly. Over the years, Ashley and I have helped hundreds of couples plan destination weddings across Mexico and the Caribbean. And the one thing that we really see again and again is that choosing the right resort really makes all the difference in the entire wedding experience as it unfolds. So, our goal tonight is to help you move from maybe being a bit overwhelmed to having a bit more clarity. And we want to give you some insight on how to think about choosing a destination wedding resort, some of the most common things that couples do overlook when they start researching, and then what really makes a difference in the overall wedding experience. So, from there, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley.
All right. So tonight we're focusing on Hilton All-Inclusive Resorts, and we're really excited to showcase two beautiful properties that offer very different experiences for destination weddings. So to give you an insider perspective, we have invited one of Hilton's wedding experts to join us as our guests. So we're going to be hearing from Gina Johnson, the Senior Manager of Destination Weddings and Groups for Hilton. She oversees destination wedding programs and works closely with the Hilton properties across the brand. We did have a small mix-up on times tonight, so we are hoping that we can have Hildebranda Richards, which is the wedding manager at Zemi Miches in the Dominican Republic, as well as Cesar. Oh, I was hoping to get clarification on how you say his last name, but Monsivais, wedding manager at Hilton Tulum in Mexico. So each of them bring incredible insight into what the experience actually looks like once you're on property. And so tonight we're going to cover how couples should think about choosing the right destination wedding resort, some of the most common questions couples ask when they're narrowing their options, and then a closer look at Hilton Tulum and Zemi Miches so you can start to see how different resorts can fit different wedding visions and guest dynamics. So as you listen tonight, we encourage you to keep one question in mind. If you were standing on a beach on your wedding day, what would you want the experience to feel like for your guests? If questions come up as you go, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll have time for a live Q&A towards the end. But before we kick off your presentation, Gina, would you mind sharing with us excuse me, let me restart that. Would you mind sharing with us how guest experience and wedding experience differ and why both matter when planning a destination wedding?
I was really glad that you guys were going to be asking this question because I think it's paramount to understand it when you're doing a destination wedding. First is the wedding experience, right? Is the venue going to be able to execute what your vision is for your wedding? The reception, the venues, celebration itself. But then the second part of that is your guests that are coming to celebrate you for several days. You want to make sure that the resort is going to accommodate who your guests are. So if you've got young ones, littles to grandparents, then you want to make sure that the property can accommodate those guests' needs. So we often tell people that it's really a balance of both. You need to not just focus on one thing, you need to focus on both things. And I think this is really where travel advisors can help support that, right? Because you work with the hotels closely for wedding planning, you've been to most of the properties. So I think that that's where you can provide insight and assistance and guidance through the planning process to ensure that there is that balance.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think this is really where I like to brainstorm with couples about what they envision for the whole experience versus just what their top ceremony venue is.
Yeah.
All right, one more question for you. Are there questions couples should ask themselves before falling in love with the photos?
Yes, I think that pictures are beautiful, but I think it's important to step back and understand. Again, we're talking about the not only the hotel itself, but the destination, right? To make sure that that's what you want. So we encourage couples to take a step back and think about a few things. One of the biggest is asking yourselves, what kind of wedding experience do you want? Something intimate, relaxed, something bigger, several days of celebrations, because each property can accommodate or specializes in certain things. So um, that's also working with travel advisors is helpful because they can help you guide that process. And you may see some beautiful pictures, but they've been on property. They can tell you real life experiences about that property. So I think it's important to work with them. One of the other things too is that a lot of hotels and brands have wedding site inspection programs, and I highly encourage this. If you haven't been to the property yet, but maybe you've narrowed down to a couple of them, go and take advantage of these wedding site inspection programs where you can go down, you can meet with the wedding team, you can do a wedding venue and site inspection. You can do food tasting, you can meet with outside vendors. It really gives you that sense of security that you've made the right decision. And with Hilton All-Inclusive, we do offer that at our properties. The price for it varies, but it usually starts at about $500 for two people for 2 nights. And you get to do all those things that I was just talking about. You get to enjoy the resort, you get to experience it, and meet with our wedding team.
I love that. I think it's such a valuable opportunity for
I
people who
agree.
are, whether, they're just torn, but it's nice to go down and really experience it and then get even more excited about it.
I know, right?
Thank you so much, Gina, both for that perspective and all of that information. So really, let's let you kick it off from here. I know you have a incredible overview of Hilton, Zemi, and Hilton Tulum to share with us. So I'll let you take it from
Yep.
here.
Let me bring up my slide deck and
Mhm.
switch this. I love multiple screens, but the disadvantage of that is that sometimes you get lost in all the screens.
hmm You're like, you don't know what you're sharing.
1 second. Yep. There we go. All right. Are you seeing Hilton All-Inclusive?
hmm
There it is. All right. Well, this really is meant to just give an overview of the properties, a little bit more in depth about what some of the amenities are that you would be able to enjoy, that your guests would be able to enjoy. And then we'll go into some of the venue information, the wedding packages, and some of the promotions that we currently have going on that would be beneficial to your wedding group. So as they shared before, my name is Gina Johnson. I'm the senior wedding manager for weddings and celebrations for Hilton All-Inclusive. I've been doing this type of thing with weddings for over 25 years. I love it. I always tell people I have 4 daughters. I had to get into it just so I could make sure that they could have beautiful destination weddings. But we've only had one get married so far. She had a destination wedding. And I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing to go with all of your friends and family for more than just 1 or 2 days, but to be together for maybe 4 or 5 days. And it really brings the family and friends together. So why Hilton All-Inclusive? Couple of things. And these are our five pillars for our all-inclusive. And I think the most important is hospitality that leaves impression. Hilton has over 100 years of experience within hospitality, and they just really got into all-inclusive about 5 years ago, and they're bringing all of that expertise into the all-inclusive, really elevating that experience. Next is elevated food and beverage. A really important part of an all-inclusive is that your food and beverage. You're going to be eating that for 5 days, so you want to make sure that it's fresh ingredients, it's locally sourced, and you have a variety of dining options at all of the properties. We also offer 24-hour room service. Just in case you get busy with the wedding planning before the ceremony, we can have food delivered to you. Entertainment that makes a splash. So with all-inclusive, this includes your daily activity program, your nightly entertainment. So a lot of times you can incorporate some of those things into your destination wedding. You may want to do a couple private things, private events, but you can incorporate like the nightly show, or maybe they have karaoke, and you can incorporate that into your itinerary. Next is breathtaking spaces. So we have some of the most beautiful properties in some of the most desirable locations throughout Mexico and the Caribbean. So we have several of the properties are brand new builds. In fact, the two that we're going to be talking about tonight are new. One of them just opened up last July. The other one opened up about 3.5 years ago. And then last but not least, it's weddings and events. So we have dedicated wedding teams, celebration teams at every single one of our hotels that can help you plan the entire wedding. They're there to take you through every step of the way, of course, with the support of your travel advisors that can help you and assist you with the group and with the wedding as well. So we're going to talk about our wedding packages. We have 4 wedding packages, and they're the same at every single property. So once I talk about these, whether you choose any of our properties, it's going to be the same. We have Signature, Devotion, Cherished, and Cherished Captured. Signature, it includes 30 people. It's our lead-in package. And this includes the ceremony, like your bouquet, your boutonnieres, audio system for the ceremony, and a cocktail reception afterwards. We're talking about Hilton Tulum and Zemi Miches tonight, so these are the prices that I've included, and that includes 30 people. So it really is a great, if you want to do something a little bit more custom, you can start with this package and then build on with additional events if you wanted to. Next is the Devotion Wedding Package. This is a little bit more robust package. It includes the ceremony. It includes a 1-hour private cocktail. It includes a 3-hour private reception. And these include everything. It includes your table setups, your bar setup. It includes plated private reception. And then it also includes a lot of additional amenities for you, the couple, and also spa discounts for your guests. So Hilton Tulum, 8,400, Zemi Miches, 9,032. Again, that includes up to 30 people. The next package is Cherished Wedding Package. You can see by the price tag, this is a little bit more, but the reason is that when we were putting these packages together, we saw what people were adding in a la carte to their wedding package. And instead of having to do that a la carte, we package it all together and got it to a really attractive price. So this now includes your ceremony, which includes your location, a wedding arch, an aisle runner, a 1-hour cocktail, a 4-hour private reception, so an additional hour, 3-course menu. It includes an audio system, DJ, dance floor, 1 set of live music, fountain fireworks at the end of your reception. It includes a getting ready room the day of the wedding so that you guys can be in separate rooms. And then we also include an 1.5-hour rehearsal dinner the night before for up to 30 people. So you can see that if you were to add these all in individually, it would be more than what the package prices are here. And the great thing is that these package prices are good for this year and next year. So I don't know if you're planning something for towards the end of this year or into next year, but those prices stay the same. And then really the only difference between Cherished and Cherished Captured is this includes photography. We feel that photography is a very personal thing. It's your memories that you're going to be taking with you of that day. So we don't include it in our packages. We don't require you to use our in-house photographer. You can use a local photographer that you might find, a friend, family member, whoever it is. You can bring in your own photographer to capture those special moments. But if you don't have somebody, we have fantastic photographers on property that can do the exact same thing. So we do have some wonderful benefits for social groups. So when you're booking your group, excuse me, if you're booking between January, I'm sorry, if you're going to be traveling between January 7th and April 17th, we give you every 13th room free. If you are traveling April 18th to December 21st, every 8th room is complimentary. So you can use that towards your group. You can use it towards your room. There's a lot of different ways that you can utilize those comp rooms. And when I say comp, if you pay for 7 rooms, that 8th room is going to be completely complimentary. We allow up to 5 complimentaries per group. We give you a complimentary upgrade to a higher category, and we have low deposit of $100 per room on groups up to 60 rooms, making it affordable for you if you wanted to go in and do a block of rooms. And we do allow you, let's say you're not sure how many people you're going to have come, you could go in and block like 30 rooms, and we do allow you to increase the number of rooms at the same rate that you're booking. And we encourage you to book at least 12 to 18 months out. That's when you're going to get the best pricing. We have early booking discounts. So the further you book out, the lower the price is going to be. The closer you get in, and the higher the occupancy is at the hotel, the price goes up slightly. So we always encourage you to book further out. But this is a great way for you to subsidize your room or the wedding or whatever it may be. Now, if you have children or teens coming to your wedding, and this is a short-term promotion, so I am not sure if anybody has any weddings that are going to be taking place before October 31st of this year, but we are giving kids and teens free, so that's 17 and under, 1 per paying adult, and that is combinable with our social group program. So imagine if you had all of your friends and family, the kids and the teens got to be free, you have the comp rooms. It really is an impactful promotion when you combine them. So now we're going to talk about our properties, and I'm really excited about the 2 that we've selected tonight because they're 2 of my favorite. I love all our hotels, but these ones are definitely something extremely special. So the first one is called Zemi Miches Punta Cana All-Inclusive Resort. It's part of the Hilton Furio collection, so it's more of a boutique-y atmosphere at this hotel. It's, as I mentioned earlier, just opened July of last year. It's in this beautiful kind of remote, it's a new area that's being developed, so there's only like maybe about 6 hotels out in this area, and it's located in Samana Bay. So it's this beautiful bay, the water's calm. You've got right across from us, you've got a mountain range, so it makes for a beautiful backdrop if you're getting married on the beach. Just really a unique destination. It's got 500 rooms, 123 of those are swim ups. And we also have 1 and 2 bedroom bungalows, 20 of them that are oceanfront. And those bungalows have their own private plunge pool. They have their own restaurant for all of the bungalows. Just a really unique experience. So maybe that's what you guys would want to do while you're on property, is do one of the bungalows. We also have 14 restaurants and lounges. We have 4 pools throughout the entire property, not including the private bungalows on the private pools at the bungalows. We also have a complete entertainment complex there that includes a water slide park, and that's for young and old alike. We also have a bowling alley, an escape room. We have pickleball courts. We have an arcade. We have laser tag. Some of those do have nominal fees, very low fees to utilize them. But it makes it nice when you are going to be there for maybe 5 days, that everybody's going to have something to do. And again, maybe you can incorporate that into your wedding itinerary. We also have a 5,000 square foot spa. It's state of the art, absolutely stunning. It's built like a cenote type thing, absolutely gorgeous. And I think I just saw Hildebranda join, which is great. She's the wedding
Yeah.
manager
Perfect
at
timing.
the Zemi Miches.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
No, it's a pleasure. So I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute, Hildebranda. So be ready to jump in. We also have a state-of-the-art fitness center. It's a two-story fitness center that includes things like yoga, Pilates, spin classes. Just if you want to stay in shape while you're on property, this is a great fitness center. We also have a elevated category. It's called Club Azure, and it gives you additional amenities and services. It gives you best location within the property. It gives you access to a concierge that can help you make reservations for the restaurants or reserve a place for you by the pool. And we also at this property have a Club Azul lounge. That's where you're going to do your check-in when you get to the property. They also have their own dedicated restaurant and their own pool. So just a nice elevated category. To get to this property, you would fly into Punta Cana Airport. It's a short 90-minute drive to Miches, but it's beautiful. It's a well-maintained road. You're going through beautiful hillsides. It's really some beautiful scenery all the way up to the hotel. Gets you up on the northeast side of the island. And like I said, we're in that Bay Area, which is extremely calm and beautiful.
I will say I was just here 3 weeks ago and it was 100% worth the ride. Those mountains on the other side of that bay, like it doesn't, this picture doesn't even do it justice. It's
I
so
agree.
pretty. It's
I
so
agree.
pretty.
And I think that actually one of the photos we're coming up on actually has that backdrop.
Hmm.
But Jackie, just tell me, when you got to the property, did it just seem so serene and relaxing and zen?
100%, because even all the things you mentioned, the escape room, the bowling, the water park, they're so tucked away that like if you're not looking for it, you wouldn't even know it was there. So you can have everything. And like even just waking up in the morning, that first like step outside, you just, even though there's 500 rooms, you it just feels like you're just like there by yourself, but in a good way. Like it's just
Yes,
so like
agreed.
relaxing.
You know what part of that is too is that they when they built this property, they didn't go in and tear down all the vegetation. They
Mm,
built in between the vegetation, which was really important because everything around there is mature. The
yeah.
the plant life, everything around there. They left the palm trees that are all the way up to the water's edge. It just really is a unique resort.
Hmm. I loved
beautiful.
it.
We have beautiful poolscapes, and in that center, I don't know if you can kind of see there's like a little four-leaf clover looking thing. We actually have fire pits there in the evening, which is stunning, very romantic, beautiful beach location. What that pool that you're seeing at the very front of this picture, at the bottom of the picture, is our Club Azure pool area. It's our pool deck. Just lots of areas for private events, for semi-private events, and for unique experiences throughout the entire property. As I said, we've got 502 rooms. All of them are Caribbean inspired, and actually, they drew a lot from the Taino Indians, or they were the people that were indigenous to this area. So, like the wall behind the bed, that's all. I can't remember what the name of it is. Hildebrand, maybe you can help me with this. Like it's the carvings that they had in some of the areas in that region. And a lot of the artwork was all done by local artisans. So it really encapsulates what this whole region is. We also have, like I said, the Club Azure rooms, very similar to what I was talking about earlier, like the Enclave Club Azure type thing, where you get the personal concierge, you get robes and slippers, you get upgraded minibar. We have mini bars in all of our properties, nightly turn down service, and they can help you with things like making reservations for the restaurants and for reserving areas out around the pool. They're just there to assist you while you're on property. And then, of course, our 1 and 2 bedroom bungalows, you guys, these are stunning. We don't have actual pictures of these yet because they just got completed last month, but they are stunning. You have sliding glass doors that are overlooking the ocean. And if you want to do something special for your wedding, I would highly recommend booking one of these 1 and 2 bedroom bungalows. Hildebrand, do you want to add anything before we go to the next level where we talk about the weddings?
No, don't right now. It's okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For dining, we have a plethora of options at this property. We've got Yucca, our beach grill, which is beautiful during the day for lunch and breakfast. But for dinner, you can have it out under the stars. It's just magical. The Tao restaurant, which is Taino. So you'll see that that's kind of a theme throughout our properties, that not every property, it's not a cookie cutter feel to it. So each property will have its own heart, its own soul. And the Tao restaurant is a blend of Dominican cuisine and the Taino cuisine, and it's authentic and it's delicious. So make sure that you stop by that restaurant if you're on property. Next is Boba, which is our Thai street food. Manicato, which is our Italian, and they've got a brick oven in there. Probably the best pizza I've ever tasted in my life was at this restaurant. And guacate, maybe I'm not pronouncing that right, Hildebrand, you're correct.
Guacete.
Guacete, thank you. Is our food hall. So we do have what you would traditionally call buffets, but it's an elevated buffet, and I kind of compare it to like a really large charcuterie board, because you go in and you've got all these little small place serving things so that they replenish them. It's not like you walk in and it's like cafeteria style. No, it's an elevated dining hall. So we call it our food hall. And then, of course, out around the pool areas, we have food trucks that have different types of food throughout the week to give you a variety of things. And then we also have our coffee shop where you can go get custom coffees. They've got donuts and pastries in the morning. They've got sandwiches in the afternoon. They've got ice cream. And that's all grab and go. So you can go in there at any time of the day or evening and grab yourself something to eat. And then, of course, we talked about the 24-hour room service that's included. And then we also have magnificent bars at this property, whether it's our main lobby bar, which is where kind of everybody congregates in the evening. But we have several other bars throughout the entire property, including our sports bar. We have a cigar lounge. So we talk about maybe renting that out as a venue if you wanted to do a party for everybody, or maybe the bachelors, the bachelor and the bachelorette, what do they call it? The batch bash. Maybe you go in and you rent that and have a party maybe a couple of days before the ceremony. And am I allowed to talk about the speakeasy, Hildebrand? The secret speakeasy?
Well, it's not open yet.
Okay.
I was gonna say I didn't see this.
It's super secret.
Yes, so yes, we are going to have a speakeasy. Mm-hmm.
It's super
Cool.
secret. That's how secret it is, Jackie.
That's why
you have to go find it on your own.
And I'm gonna let Hildebrand, and I'm throwing this to you. So if you have any doubts or questions, Hildebrand, I'm showing pictures of some of the venues. If you just want to kind of walk us through it. But I will say that this is the picture that I was talking about, Jackie, that is ocean front, and you have those mountains. And this picture doesn't do it justice because it is like a wow moment.
Mm-hmm.
We have a stunning views. I know Jackie has the opportunity to experience it. And yes, this picture is right at the Zemi Beach 1. And that's one of our location. We have 3 beach locations. We have Zemi Beach 1, we have Zemi Beach 2, and we have the Zemi Beach that is in front of Casa Tres. And this picture right here is at the Sunset Gazebo. Located on the
Sue, you just completed this a couple months ago, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And this is on that same beach area. And one of the things that I like about this location that I'll say is that it's tucked back kind of in the mangroves. And then you have a big beach area behind it. So you can do a small intimate, or you can do a much larger without having a ton of people right around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. And this is one of our ballrooms. We have one ballroom which can be divided in 3. This one right here was at Zemi Beach, at Zemi Ballroom 1.
And I was missing some pictures, Hildebrand. We can send those out to Jackie and Ashley later, but I know that we have the sunset gazebo as well that's in the garden area that can accommodate up to how many?
50 people.
50 people. And
Yes.
did I miss any other venues?
Yes, of course. We also have the main pool as a reception venue. We offer it as a reception venue. We have the secret garden. It's like a barely new location. What we are using that area as well, and it's our secret garden. Is right behind Casa One. It's between Casa One and Club Azure pool.
Okay.
And we also have Garden Bay, which is between like the main beach and the main pool.
Okay, perfect. I love that you guys are adding so many new venues.
Yes.
And I know that you guys are working on new photography. So if anybody needs additional information on it, you'll be able to provide them with that very, very soon. Remember, this is a new hotel, so we're still working on some of the stuff. So all right, Hildebrand, do you want to add anything else before we go on to the next hotel?
No, we can continue.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're going to jump over to the Hilton Tulum Riviera Maya All-Inclusive Resort. This property opened up about 3.5 years ago. It's located about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Tulum. It is on this beautiful private cove, secluded. We really only have one hotel on the side of us, which happens to be another Hilton property that is not all-inclusive. It's the Conrad Tulum, but just a stunning location. This property has 735 rooms, 13 restaurants and lounges, 8 pools strewn throughout the entire property. We've got a kids and teens club, spa, and fitness center. The spa and fitness center here again are absolutely beautiful. In fact, the spa is the Conrad Spa. So we utilize their spa, which is amazing. And then we also, where we talked about Club Azur in Dominican Republic, in Cancun, or I'm sorry, at the Hilton Tulum, we have the Enclave. That's our elevated category. Same thing. It gives you best location within the property. It gives you additional amenities and services. You have access to the Enclave lounge. You have private check-in, just a nice elevated. And I always encourage you to look at those elevated categories because sometimes the pricing difference between like a standard category up to the Enclave is not significant, but it's well worth it to do it. Now, a couple things while we're on this photo before I go on to the next photos is you can see in the lower right-hand corner, that's our main building with the lobby, most of our a la carte restaurants, and then we've got 2 pools in front of it. One of them is adult only, and then in front of that, because it's on a point, we have a man-made beach right there. But if you come around that corner where you see kind of in the middle, that's our natural beach that goes around this cove. And then up in the upper left-hand corner, that's our family section, that Palapas, and a buffet restaurant, food hall, I should say. And we've got a 2-story kids club over there. We've got outdoor playscape. So this is a nice blend. If you've got multi-gen guests coming, the families can be over in that section. You could stay in the Enclave section, which is closest to the lobby area, and then your guests kind of in between. We do have shuttles, trams running back and forth behind the buildings every 5 minutes. So it's super easy to get around this resort. So this gives you an aerial view of the property. You can see where the center is the entrance and the lobby where most of our a la carte restaurants are. You can see that the buildings, the majority of them, if you're just seeing one row, those are all ocean view buildings. If they're double, then that's an ocean view and a nature view on the back side. Our kids area, you can see our spa. And then, of course, we've got a big conference center that we use the ballrooms as backup space. Whenever you book an outdoor event, we always block indoor space just in case there's inclement weather. We try to do our best to make sure it's sunny all the time, but just in case we have inclement weather, everything can still continue. So one of the things that I love about all of our properties is that there is such a sense of arrival. at the majority of our properties, I think all but one, when you walk through the front door, you're going to have an immediate view of the ocean. That really lets you know that you've arrived. And it would be fun to be greeting all of your friends and family that are arriving. Maybe you arrive a day or two ahead of them so you can kind of relax before everybody comes in. It's just a really fun area to be in. And if you kept walking, you would walk down some stairs onto this big stage area. Beyond that is a huge man-made beach that we do a lot of our events on, where some couples don't want to, they want to do a beach wedding, but they don't want to have toes in sand. This beach is actually really good because it's compact and it's easy to walk in, even if you're in heels. Rooms and suites. This property is a little bit more contemporary, but still has that boho chic vibe of Tulum, just the way that the rooms are designed, that the art, the decor within the rooms has a little bit more of a Tulum feel to it. And you'll see that throughout the entire property. We've got anything from our standard categories, which are nature views. They can do king bed or 2 queen beds. That's another key thing. When you do 2 beds, it's 2 queen beds instead of doubles. And then we also have our ocean view. Then we also have 1-bedroom master suites. We have the enclave categories. We have presidential suites. So a nice mix of different room types when we're talking about making sure that all of your friends and family, each of these room categories can fit a different type of budget. And then for culinary experiences, we have 13 dining options, including 5 signature restaurants. One of my favorites here is Masal, which is authentic Mexican cuisine. And a lot of times when you go to Mexico resorts, you get like a Tex-Mex blend or a more Americanized type of Mexican food, but this is authentic. It's so good. Street tacos there are phenomenal. We've also got our steakhouse. We've got Italian food, just a nice mix of all of the things. And then we've got our lobby bar, which is always hopping at night. They've usually got either like karaoke or they've got trivia nights. They've all got all sorts of things going on in the lobby bar and then out on the terrace as well. For wedding venues here, we've got multiple venues. That main beach that I keep talking about, that man-made beach, is can be used for all of your events. It could be ceremony, cocktail, and reception, just in different locations on this beach. So you have that movement from the wedding, then you have an area where it's for the cocktail, and then you can continue down to the end where it's a little bit more private, and you can have your reception. But we can accommodate really large events in this venue. Our main stage, if you've got a large group coming down, if you have a lot of friends and family coming with you, one of the things we can do is this main stage area right next to the main beach. We can use that for the ceremony and then go onto the beach for your cocktail and reception. Beautiful backdrop overlooking the ocean. It really is spectacular. And then our beach lawn. This is actually a newer venue for this property. This lawn goes right up to the water's edge. So again, ocean front, no toes in sand. And it can accommodate up to about 250 people for a ceremony. But if you've got something a little bit smaller, you could do your ceremony, your cocktail, and then if you wanted to move to a different location or stay here, you could have your reception here as well. They've also got other venues and right off the ballroom. They also have the ballrooms for receptions if you prefer to be inside for that event. And then we also have some of the pool decks and that we can use for different types of events. And that's it for me. Jackie, Ashley, I hope I covered everything and at least gave a little insight into each property.
Yeah,
You did.
you did. I have to plug the steakhouse at Tulum. Ashley and I were there not too long after they opened, and I love telling everybody that it was still one of the best steaks I've ever had. Like not like in life, not just in Mexico. I
I'm
still think about it.
I'm a Texas girl and I take my steaks very seriously, and I would have to agree with you.
Yeah.
Good. It's so good.
Well, thank you so much, Gina. Thank you, Hildebranda, for jumping in as well for Zemi. That gave us a really good look at the two properties. I loved diving into the wedding packages and then looking at the venues and how it all plays into the resort itself. So I'd love to open it up at this point to any questions to see if anyone has anything. If you want to put it in the chat, we can also come off mute, whatever works for people.
And ask us anything. You've got people here. There's no silly questions. We love talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, if we have too many people that are shy, I do have one that a lot of people, it's never a question people ask, but I would be curious your answer, either Hildebranda or Gina. What is the biggest budget surprise when it comes to planning weddings?
I, I think for me, because this has come up recently, um, I think with the packages, it helps you kind of see what it's going to cost you to get married. But I think sometimes with your vision of what your ceremony is, I think you need to kind of know what you want for decor, for floral, for things like that. But the biggest thing that has come up is lighting. Because a lot of times, if you're doing a beach location, we don't have lighting set up all the time because it's not always used as a venue. So remember to think about that when you're thinking about if you're doing an evening reception, that you're probably going to need some lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Hildebranda, do you have anything?
Lighting, I think lighting and audiovisual, and that can like vary a lot, because we can have like a big wedding with like a small budget, and also have like a small wedding with a big budget, depending obviously on what they are looking for their celebration, what they are looking for the decoration. And as Gina mentioned it, something that we have to consider when we have like an outdoor venue would be the lighting and audiovisual as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give a shout out to the wedding teams because one thing I love about them is that you may come to them with this vision of what you want. And it might, when they get the pricing, maybe it isn't within your budget. They'll offer alternatives. So maybe it's a different flower, maybe it's a different table, but something that's still similar that creates that vision of what you want. So the wedding teams are phenomenal at that.
Of course, and the wedding coordinator always is going to work with the couple, like to get them the best option for the celebration.
What do you
That
find?
makes all the difference too, because I think people think about this, they gather these pictures, they have all these visions, and then to
Mm-hmm.
execute it, it may not be everything you want all the time, but it's nice to be able to be flexible and that they're offering that support just rather than being like, nope, can't do it. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always different options. So
Yeah.
So to piggyback off that a little bit, Hildebrand, do you find there's a best way for people to bring that information to you? Like, is it by putting together a Pinterest board? Is it just by sending photos by email? Like, is there a one best way for them to share this vision so that you can help it all come together?
Yes, we always ask the couples to send us like their vision. If they have like a vision board or any inspirational pictures, we ask them to send it to us so we can help them like better.
Awesome.
Love it.
Can you tell me a little bit about dinner? Do you recommend a plated dinner, a buffet dinner? Is that up to the couple? Does that vary by resort?
That always will depend on where they're going to have the reception and the number of guests they're going to have. Because if we have more than 50 people, we always recommend like to have a buffet. If we are on the beach and we are not closer to a restaurant, for example, in Zemi Miches, we have Zemi Beach One, which is close to one of our restaurant, which is Yuca Restaurant, and we can offer a plated menu there. But if we are in another place of the beach, which is like away, like far away from one of our restaurants, we are going to recommend a buffet.
Yeah.
That
You don't want to.
ensures the temperature, the quality, and
Uh-huh.
everything else. So
Mhm. I think that's a common question actually, that we get often.
Mhm.
There is no yes or like right answer. It really just does depend on a lot of those
That's
factors.
correct.
and
Good.
and that's again is where it's important to have our wedding teams help walk through that. And what we're talking about Zemi, but that does apply to all of our resorts. We want to make sure that whatever is served to your guests and to you is fresh and warm or cold if it's supposed to be. But yeah, we can do those different types of things. And even with the buffet, maybe we can add in like some cooking stations and that to have that custom feel. Um, so different options.
Yes, and that's apply also for the like for the appetizers for the cocktail hour as well. We always recommend that if we have like the ceremony on the beach, we recommend to have better like hot appetizers instead of cold. So that's apply for that as well.
Okay.
How
Excellent.
how about the planning process? So if a couple comes, they go and they secure their date, they decide on their wedding package. At what point do they really start diving into those planning details for the wedding?
As soon as we receive the wedding agreement, sign it, and we receive the deposit, they are introduced to a wedding coordinator, and that wedding coordinator is going to lead them to lead the couple through all the process, and the planning is going to start.
So that will start right away. It's not 3, 6 months prior.
No, we start right away with them, and that's it. And it's because we can do it like that, like just waiting a few months to start the planning. But we understand that in wedding, the budget is like a very important part of the wedding. So if we start with them right away, they have like the opportunity. Maybe they don't have like the money for a thing that they want to add to the wedding, but if we like start with enough time, maybe they can work on that, and we give them that time to do that.
Yeah, I think at most of our resorts we do um, like inspirational planning, I think, right away, like kind of walking through what do you want, kind of getting the prices together. Because really you don't know your guest count usually until you're getting a little bit closer. So then that's where you're working through some of the final details and really seeing what the budget's going to be. But all of our wedding teams can help if you have a question, if you need to know how much something is, if we can do something and think outside the box too, because I think a lot of times we're unsure of what we can do in destination. We can basically do anything in destination that you could do at home, right? If you're doing a local wedding. So think about all of those different things, and they can help you start pulling that all together. Maybe you don't end up with everything that you started with. Maybe it shifts, maybe it pivots. But I love that Hildebrand does start working with the couples right away.
Yeah, I love how supportive that is right away because
Mhm.
it also captures their excitement and vision
Mhm.
instead of waiting until a couple
Mhm.
months prior. I know you
Yeah.
guys might not need that time, but the guests always want it, or the couple always wants it.
That is a really nice feature though, because that's not always the norm to start right away. So I think that is, like you said, Ashley gets their excitement going and Hildebranda, like you're right with there are certain things that people do want, but if it is a budget surprise, they could work towards it if they need to.
That's great.
Yeah, excellent.
So, any
All
questions?
right.
Anything else?
If there isn't anything else, then thank you again so much, Gina and Hildebranda, for sharing all of your expertise with us. And we want to thank you guys for spending part of your evening with us. If there is any takeaway from tonight, it's really that there isn't just one best resort out there for a destination wedding. The right choice depends on you, your vision, your guest experience, what type of celebration that you want to create for yourselves and everybody that'll be joining you. Hilton Tulum and Zemi Miches are both wonderful examples of how two resorts within the same brand can offer very different wedding experiences. And if you do want help talking through your vision and determining which destinations and resorts really fit what you want to create, we would love to support you here at Sunbury. The first step would be to book a complimentary consultation. We'll walk through your vision, your guest experience goals, and the top priorities for you. And then from there, we'll guide you through the booking process, coordinate the travel experience for your guests, and so everything stays organized and stress-free for you. So if that sounds helpful, we'll drop a consultation link in the chat, and we will also include it in a follow-up email after tonight's webinar. So if you're still in the early stages of exploring, that conversation can really bring a lot of clarity for you. And again, we want to thank you so much. We want to thank our partners here at Hilton and congratulations on your engagement. We thank you all for being here. We're so excited for this time for you and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.